Hi friends, today I'm going to read you a story called A Camping Spree with Mr. Magee. Has anybody ever gone camping before? I have. It's been a long time since I did that. Let's find out what he's going to do. Early one morning at 7:03, Mr. Magee and his little dog Dee packed up the camper and hitched up the load, hopped in the Rambler and then hit the road. They drove to the mountains, far from the sea, for 2 nights of camping, or possibly 3. You see his camper hooked up to his car? There's his dog, Dee. There's nothing like camping, said Mr. Magee. I know you will love it. Just you wait and see. The views are fantastic. There's hardly a sound. Aside from the wildlife, there's no one around. And the air is so sweet, you'll sleep like a log, said Mr. Magee to his small spotted dog. Let's see. After 2 hours, they took a sharp right and found a great spot to lay camp for the night. It was high on a hill with a beautiful view of Mount Adams, Mount Lincoln, and Jefferson too. But perhaps the most wonderful feature of all was the brook that ran over a steep waterfall. You see it over there? That's pretty. Dee gathered pine cones and branches and logs. Magee made a campfire and cooked some hot dogs. And as the sun set behind far distant knolls, they sat roasting marshmallows over the coals. Do you think dogs like marshmallows? I don't know, I bet they do. As the embers went out, that's the coals in the fire, they felt tired and dozy. So they climbed into their bunk beds, all comfy and cozy. But while they were falling asleep without care, along came a stumbling, bumbling bear. A kindly old bear whose sight wasn't so clear. He couldn't see far and he couldn't see near. Can you see that bear back there? He's back between their car and their camper. But he could smell, guess, the marshmallows, sticky and sweet. The smells made him hungry. He wanted a treat. So they're sleeping in there. They don't even know that bear is out there. He sniffed out the place where the marshmallows lay. Uh-oh, you see them right there? They left some marshmallows outside. But the car and the camper were in the bear's way. Yep, that didn't stop that sneaky old snitch. He simply tried squeezing right under the hitch. Uh-oh, can you see that? It's coming apart, the camper and the car. And as he was shimmying into the gap, he pushed up the hitch, which let go with a snap. Uh-oh, so now his camper isn't connected to his car anymore. Yikes. Now that the camper and car were untied, they started to roll down the rocky hillside. The car bounced away on the old logging road. See it going that way? While the camper was heading to where the stream flowed. Uh-oh, look. They're still sleeping in there. It flew down the hill in a wild, bumpy ride, with Dee and Magee sleeping soundly inside. Yikes. I wonder if it's going to wake them up when they hit the water. Let's find out. They were snoring and snoozing, enjoying a dream, when splash went the camper right into the stream. I don't know. That would be scary. The splash shook the camper. They bumped out of bed. Now what in the world was that, Magee said. Oh, it did wake him up. And when he looked out and saw where they were, his hair stood on end and so did Dee's fur. They were caught in the rapids, but that wasn't all. They were heading smack dab for the big waterfall. Uh-oh. Dee and Magee both started to quiver. As faster and faster they headed downriver. But just when they thought they'd fall over that edge, the camper got stuck on a rock on the ledge. Let's move my finger so you can see. Look, that rock stopped them. So there they were, stranded, Magee and his pup, on the top of a waterfall, 50 feet up. So they're stuck up there. Look how far down. Whew, good thing for that rock, isn't it? Meanwhile, that nearsighted bear from before was searching for one little marshmallow more, when lo and behold, as out of a dream, he spied something sweet floating over the stream. But what the bear thought was a marshmallow wasn't really, it was their hitch. Look, it's not a marshmallow, it's a hitch, not something to eat. Oh, but the bear thinks it's a marshmallow. Wonder how he's going to get it. The bear was determined to capture his prize, so he jumped into water right up to his thighs. He splashed through the stream to the edge of the fall and snatched up the trailer hitch, camper and all. So he grabbed that, what he thought was a big marshmallow, but it's really just the camper hitch. So the bear grabbed it. Oh, is he going to save him? Dee felt a tug. Magee heard a knock as their bear pulled the camper right off of the rock. He dragged them both all the way back to the bank when he realized the hitch was not sweet, but quite rank. He spit out the hitch and left in dismay, while Magee and Dee's camper again rolled away. It flew down the path with a jolt and a jar. Well, at least they're back on land now, but they're still rolling. Guess what? It stopped in some bushes right next to their car. Dee popped his head out. Magee looked out too. Had they really stopped rolling? Could it be true? At last things were quiet and peaceful and still. They hooked up the hitch and drove off down the hill. And on the way home, Magee said to Dee, "That trip wasn't quite like I thought it would be. So when they get home, with the sky turning red, they decided to camp in their backyard instead." So they just parked right behind their house. That's probably a good idea because that was a scary trip. All right, thanks for listening, friends. I'll see you again another day.